Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo. Ah. Daily morning ritual. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So good to be here. So good to be here with you. Thank you for joining each morning, serving yourself, activating, cleansing, creating that intention for the day. And the activation is deep. We're going deep inside the brain, activating the deepest parts of the brain that we haven't been using, and really give us a degree of calm and joy from knowing that the anxiety that we're experiencing in daily life isn't necessary. It's something that we've been conditioned, we've allowed ourselves to be conditioned to. So by you joining every morning, you rebuild the deeper parts of the brain, the deeper aspects that actually relieve anxiety, relieve depression. They're anti-inflammatory, immune boosting, and we go into deep meditation. We come back into our hearts, making this journey from our heads to our hearts, the longest journey that we're ever going to take, and we get to take it together. Each moment, us together, these mornings are beautiful. So I started my morning with some oil pulling. I'll just give you my little oil pulling story again, in case you don't know. Oil pulling. Oil pulling is this ancient Ayurvedic technique that has been used to cleanse the mouth and freshen breath and remove harmful bacteria, strengthen the gums, strengthen the jaw, no jaw pain. And it's all a simple practice of 20 minutes of coconut oil, sesame oil, or sunflower oil, any of those three, tablespoonish in the mouth, and swish it around for 20 minutes each morning. First thing I do when I get up, I go sit on the can and I take a little bit of this, which is sitting in the bathroom, and I knock it back. Not back. I don't drink it, but I swish it around the mouth. And then 20 minutes later-ish, maybe it's longer, I spit it into the garbage. But it is something that will give you a lot of benefits. There we go. So the benefits are many, from fresh breath to killing these bacteria that can cause gingivitis, can cause tooth decay. It's just like, it's a swirling mass of oil just floating around in the mouth, and I guess it grabs these bacteria and they get stuck in the oil, and then when we spit out the oil, we're spitting out the bacteria and all the gunk. And who wants bad breath, right? Who wants to be like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Whoa, dude." So brush your teeth, obviously with the toothbrush and toothpaste. We into the whole question about what kind of toothpaste at another time, but oil pulling for general mouth health. And I have to say, it's been tremendous for me. And my buddy Jim went to 2 dentists actually, and after like 3 years of oil pulling, he went to 2 dentists, and the dentist was like after 15 minutes, the person who does the cleaning was like after 15 minutes, it's like, yeah, there's nothing really to do. Yeah, no, it's okay. And so you too can enjoy the pleasures of clean mouth, clean breath, fresh breath, fresh breath, and yeah, strong mouth. Long through life, and it doesn't cost a lot. I got this like quarter-gallon that I pour into this little thing. $5, sunflower oil. It was on sale, but you know, you can find sunflower oil, you can find coconut oil, and you can find sesame oil, sesame seed oil. All very good for oil pulling. And yeah, so enjoy those benefits. And yeah. So I do that. I do my brush, which feels so good. You know, I guess this is why people make back scratchers. This also stimulates the lymphatic system. So, lymphatic system, it turns out, is bigger than the cardiovascular system. And the cardiovascular system has a pump. It's the heart. But our lymphatic system, do you know what pumps the lymphatic system? I was like, oh, okay, well, that now makes sense. But walking, moving up and down, it's like, bounce, 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 bounce. And that bouncing kind of like moves the garbage through the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is pulling out the garbage. It's like the garbage collection system. And it's bigger than the cardiovascular system. And, you know, we've got nodes all over the place. And we flush it out. We flush it out through the skin, you know, so we're actually detoxing through the skin. We're detoxing through the breath. We're detoxing through the mucus, detoxing through the pupus. Yeah, so dry brushing is a beautiful, doing it dry. I prefer doing it dry instead of after the shower. After the shower, the skin is softer and it kind of scrapes a little bit intensely. So I usually do it before the shower. And then, of course, la agua. 5 glasses, or 1 big glass, 5 glasses of water every morning. I've been enjoying kind of warm water, not just lukewarm water, but heated up water mixed with lukewarm water. So it's not scalding hot, but it's warm going down. The system just like absorbs. And it turns out that we are sometimes thirsty instead of hungry. Sometimes we register as hunger, and so we go eat, and it turns out, oh my gosh, we were just thirsty. So know that it's really beneficial to know how much water you're drinking, or at least get into the habit. I just do this twice a day, so it's super simple for me. First thing in the morning, right after oil pulling, and then right before dinner, like half an hour before dinner. And that's my water for the day. I mean, I don't know that we were meant to carry around a water bottle, sipping it all the time. I mean, I think we used to at least go down to the river, actually lean forward and drink water. And I think there's actually something about that exercise physiologist major in college told me, and I'll have to research this again, but he said, when you drink leaning forward, like the water doesn't even make it to the stomach. It's like gets absorbed as it's flowing down the throat. And if you think about how we used to drink at the river like this. And so the water would like go into the system without going into the stomach. Anyway, I don't know if research has backed that up, but he was very convincing to me as he was like admonishing people from drinking upright. And so he was emphatic about it. And so drinking water, it hydrates the body. In the morning when it's a lot, it flushes out. Like I am clean as a whistle after, go to the bathroom like 4 times after drinking that much water. But it's like, like there is, it's like what do they call it? Yoga has a name for it. Yoga's got some interesting practices that I have not explored. There are some that are like, so these are the slightly more accessible practices that I've experimented with, and you're welcome to tell me what works well for you. So let's begin our day's intention setting. Let's practice our reading of the I Ching and learning what the message from the universe is for today. All right, so 2 taps. Cinnamon is here. Tap. Oh. And 2 taps for you. 4326. Haven't we gotten 43 recently? We've gotten 43 recently. 43 is quiet. Oh my gosh, breakthrough. We had this maybe last week as well. Breakthrough, resoluteness. A breakthrough, do not be drawn back into bad habits. The arrival of the hexagram Kauai, I want to make it sound like a Hawaiian word. The arrival of the hexagram Kauai indicates that a long-awaited change is at hand. A difficulty that has oppressed you over a long period is now about to dissolve. It is important to respond in the proper way. There is a temptation on obtaining relief to fall into the traps of the ego, pride at having dispersed the trouble, self-righteousness about having triumphed through correctness, anger at one who we think was the source of the problem, or a desire to remain free of all difficulty in the future. None of these responses is appropriate in the situation at hand. What is needed now is resoluteness, a firm commitment to continuing the battle for good and to the self-examination that makes all good things possible. This is not a time to lapse back into negative mental habits and enjoy the vacation provided by the breakthrough. Do not rest on your laurels, but push forward, deepening your inner strength and your resistance to the influence of inferiors, both in yourself and others. Strengthen those around you by setting an example of self-improvement and self-correction. Great progress and good fortune are available now to one who makes proper use of the opening. And then we got some special flavors on top of that. The 4th line, there are 6 lines, and we've got the 4th, 5th, and 6th line. Restlessness encourages you to force your will on the situation. This brings misfortune. Allow yourself to be led like a quiet lamb by the shepherd of inner truth. Hmm. Mm. Fifth line. If it is your habit to indulge in what is inferior, break your habit now. Persevere in what is right. Accept life, and you will succeed. In the sixth line. The situation seems resolved, but may not be. Only a steady devotion to correct behavior brings the desired completion. And further guidance from the Wei Wu Wei Ching. Forget all ideas, all accomplishing something. In your practice and everywhere else, everything is already accomplished. If this sounds like a tricky idea to you, the flaw is in your understanding of reality, not in reality itself. Allowing nature to manifest is the way of the way. By setting aside our ambitions and leaving the way to the way, we perfect the way. It is already. That's a trip, right? The mind wants to believe in causality. If I do this, I'm going to have it. That is a trip. The mind is a tricky thing for sure. The mind is a tricky thing. It tells stories all the time if we allow it. So now we're going to choose our intention. We're going to tell the mind what story to repeat. And we're going to do it from our highest self. We're going to go into that blank space, empty of thought. Ask a question. What is my highest intention today? And what's the first answer that comes back? The answer that isn't based upon pride, that isn't based upon anger or fear or shame, the one that comes from the heart. Okay, so that answer is the intention for the day when you have that. And it doesn't have to be thought about a lot. I go into is the story that's coming back something that's like a fantasy, like something that's going to stroke my ego? Is it something that's going to make me seem better? Is it about appearance, or is it about what I really care about, something that I'm truly devoted to offering as my gift to the world and the universe? And if it's coming from that place of what is the gift that I want to give, then it feels like, that's from the higher knowing, that's from who I am, not from some fantasy story. Okay? So that's our I Ching for the day. Breakthrough. Actually, we have another flavor on that. And what is our flavor on that? We got 26. The taming power of the great. Ta Chu. I mangle these words. Somebody please tell me the correct word. I need to go find the correct way of speaking in Chinese. In the face of rising tension, keep still. Honor and practice what you've learned from the I Ching. This is the taming power of the great. A difficulty and challenging time must be taken as an opportunity to express in the outer world our highest inner principles. This hexagram counsels us to keep still under pressure and embody the virtues of the I Ching. In this way, even the most arduous trials can be successfully met. Others are often tempted to test the inner strength that we have gained through study and discipline. By pushing and prodding, they hope to reveal the weakness of our connection to truth. If we allow them to do this, we are undermined, and they go on, unlearning and satisfied at having engineered our downfall. On the other hand, if we keep still and cling firmly to what is right, the power of the great, then eventually we can tame the negative energy and instill in others the desire to grow spiritually. It is just such challenges to our strength and character that enable us over time to embody and to practice the strength of the I Ching. A spiritual understanding that is not practiced under fire is without value. Only by applying our knowledge in trying situations do we come into genuine possession of it. So use these tests as an opportunity to purify your thoughts and actions. By holding to what is correct in the face of pressure, you gain the strength and peace of mind of the spiritual masters. If you deviate from the path of the sage and act to punish or condemn others now, misfortune will result. Instead, meet attacks with stillness, acceptance, and fidelity to proper principles. Treat others with gentleness, patience, and forgiveness. If you are steadfast in this, good fortune will ultimately be yours. Further guidance from the Wei Wu Wei Ching. Be the same all the way through. Quiet, still, at home. In the absence of mind, all phenomena can be seen for what they are, empty. This is freedom. Beautiful. So, let us meditate. Meditate is going between, in the middle, between alpha, which is our calm, natural state of living awake state in the world, and delta, our sleep state. We're going to go mediate in between, and we're going to go into theta. In theta, there are no thoughts. We've de-identified from the body, except for the little movement that we have with our hands. We're motionless. We can feel the sensations of the body, but we're not, activating it a lot. It's like we know that we're present in this moment and calm. And so we use the rosary as a way of just maintaining focus on your intention and repeating your intention over and over again in your mind. Because unless we give the mind something to do, it creates a bunch of garbage stories. I say garbage because I would say 99% of the time they're just wrong. They're not what's actually happening. They're stories about the future and stories about the past, and they're just like based upon whatever grooves happen to be in our mind already, it being a pattern matching machine. So it's very powerful, but it also gives us kind of different ways of using it, and the power of the mind is it's a great storyteller, but we want to give it the story. So we're going to give it the intention, and we're going to repeat that intention. Call it a prayer, call it a mantra, call it an affirmation, or construct it as an affirmation, or construct it as an affirmation, construct it as just pure intention. Call it as you could even ask it as a request for aid. Help me be the one to live more boldly with more verve and love pouring from my heart at all times, for the benefit of myself, for the benefit of my family, friends, and all beings. It's a little bit of a long intention, but you can see how it can be very powerful. And so you bring energy into that too. Bring the energy of the heart into that intention, and then it coming from the mind with the energy from the heart, it gets projected into the thought sphere. Everybody starts to feel it around us. that intention. And the stronger we are and we hold to that coming from the highest self, it just starts to propagate to other people. And I have direct evidence of this, and stay tuned to my stories that I tell about all the adventures that I've been on so far, and stay tuned for the fun adventures, and come join me on these fun adventures that are available to us all. And it's all about getting beautiful firsthand experience. So let's dive into emptiness. Dive into the emptiness of the space between, the mediation, the meditation between awake and dream state. In this state, we connect to the consciousness of the planet. It's the same brainwave frequency as the frequency of the planet. So we're connecting into the consciousness of the planet, which is all knowledge, past, present, and future. It's called the Akashic Record. And that's where geniuses go to get to their insights. It's like the Google of the universe. So we're just going in and we're setting our intention. And then when you set your intention, I'll just add this little bit of nuance. Don't, if you just stay in acceptance of whatever happens as it happens by grace, then there's no expectation of like, oh, I need this now, or no, I don't want this. You know, just be in that state of kind of acceptance. Again, not leaning in, not leaning back. By that I mean it figuratively. You know, it is an energy of leaning in, wanting something, desiring something, wanting it now, or leaning back, which is, you know, not really caring. I don't really care. So we want that intention to be firm from the heart, feel it in the body, say it in the mind, and just repeat it over and over again while we meditate in that empty space. We're giving the thought, we're giving the mind the thought that we want it to have. All right? Ah, yes. So sit upright. Go into a motionless posture. Breathe. Take a deep sigh. Go into your intention, your prayer, your mantra. Create it as an affirmation. I am strong, living with verve, giving my heartfelt gifts for the benefit of myself and my family and friends and all beings. And then move your beat one. I am. So that's an affirmation. An affirmation is when you phrase it as a question. Why am I so bold, living with verve, giving of my gifts from my heart? And you can repeat it as a question and give that instruction to the subconscious, so the subconscious will answer it throughout the day. And begin. Thank you. Thank you for a beautiful meditation. Yeah. Just reflect on that and how you were able to maintain your focus and either use a mala or a rosary or just remain present in repeating your mantra, your intention over and over again. Did you notice any stories coming up? And if they do, just notice them and come back to your mantra, come back to your beats, come back to the present in the moment, in your body, and continue. And so we're just regrooving the mind. We're giving the mind new grooves, and those grooves become part of the structure of the mind. And with this breathing technique that we're about to do, we go into the deepest structure of the mind, which has been kind of frozen into isolation. This kind of amygdala is not connected to the rest of the brain. The reptilian part of the brain is not connected, so we're going to reconnect it and we're going to activate the deepest parts of our brain. And it gives us incredible energy and relieves depression and anxiety, the research is finding. So it seems like the amygdala is so agitated in kind of normal society because we're not in alpha, we're in beta, which is this agitated brain state. Because we're in an agitated brain state, we're not able to get down into alpha. In alpha, we can be calm, we can be present, we can be in our hearts. And so this journey is a lot easier when we're So this daily practice, this breathing technique helps us come here again. And this is who we really are. And this is who we want to be in love and life and giving and sharing and in kindness, because that is our true nature. Our true nature is as beings of love and joy and bliss. And so it's just retraining the body, because it's been conditioned over time to be in this agitated state, the body and the mind. So we're relieving that through our daily morning ritual, our sadhana. And one of the blessings that we received is the Wim Hof method from Wim Hof, who has gone to the effort of extreme practices to show what is possible, to demonstrate the power of this technique, which is an ancient yoga technique that he has now enabled science to study, because he has gone very deep into it in a way that is demonstrable, and he's boiled it down to basically 15 minutes of breathing. And in 4 days, apparently the whole physiology changes. And as we keep going and going and going, we're building these deeper and deeper powers of connection to the deep part of our brain. But the original release of the amygdala from the freeze is in 4 days. And then over time, we build these deeper and deeper and deeper connections through the breathing technique and through other things that are uncomfortable, especially cold and heat, whether that be the sauna or the ice plunge. So let's dive into our breathing for the day. And we have 4 cycles of 40 breaths. We start with a full exhale, and then we do kind of an intense inhale, serene exhale. At the end of 40, we exhale completely down to 0, no air in the lungs, and we hold it for as long as we can. And then we can even time it with this little timer, and it helps us see how we are progressing and how focused we are on the deep breathing piece. The intention and the breathing drive like huge amounts of energy and oxygen into the system, and you can feel it bubbling over your whole body. And then when we go to no breath, we go to the emptiness, where the mind seems to shut down, and we can really experience moment to moment a lot easier, and it relieves the stress on the amygdala, and the amygdala can relax after only 4 days of doing this. So come back 4 days if you've got anxiety, depression, see what happens. It's a pretty inexpensive and not time-consuming experiment to give yourself as a gift, because we don't need to be living under that agitation. And it affects our relationships, it affects our health, it affects our lives. Like, who wants to live in agitation all the time, right? So, okay, so we will start first of 40 breaths, the first cycle of 40 breaths, and we start with a complete exhale. Like, normally people, if this is our full inhale and this is our full exhale, most people are breathing in here. So when we go to a full exhale, we get all that stale air that's been sitting in our lungs, we get it out, and we create space for fresh air. So we exhale completely, and then we inhale completely, all right? So let's begin. All right, let's begin with a beautiful exhale. Right, that's an inhale. Now an exhale. That's 30 breaths in. 8 more. 5 more. 5. Full exhale all the way down to 0. Start your retention timer. Deep inhale, hold for 15. That is a breath of fire, right? All right. Well, we're breathing out our toxins. We're breathing out all of those thoughts that we don't need anymore. Just hitting that delete button, letting it go. Beautiful. So let's go into our second round. Our second round begins with a deep exhale. Deep inhale. Serene exhale. Feel your intention to clean and activate throughout your body and mind. Push your belly to your spine. We're developing our own ability to produce our own opioids and cannabinoids. Our natural ability to not feel agitated. To not feel pain. That is our natural state. Last 10. Repeat your mantra and your intention. Deep exhale, letting go. Last 3 breaths. Feel the energy all over the body. Second to last breath, full exhale. Last breath, deep inhale. Full exhale all the way down to 0. Hold at the bottom. Start your timer. Deep inhale, hold at the top, 15 seconds. Exhale all that's unnecessary anymore. Beautiful. Let's jump into our third round of 40 breaths. We start with a full exhale. Deep inhale, serene exhale. Let's give it some vigor this time. Feel ourselves coming alive. Move faster. More intensity. Last 5. Last 3. Full exhales. 2. Last 1. Full exhale. Hold at the bottom. Deep inhale. Hold for 15. Activating the deepest parts of our brains. This is like nectar. Thank you so much for joining every morning. Such a blessing. Thank you for your continued practice. We're about to begin our fourth and final round. On this round, we go into full exhale on the last breath. We exhale completely, and then we do as many push-ups as we can, right? In the holding of the non-breath, in the emptiness. We are active with our intention and super present. I like to go really slow because going slow really is this beautiful practice of really appreciating each moment instead of just like, I'm knocking it out. Go into the appreciation of each moment and the pleasure, even in the discomfort. There's pleasure in that. And it's a beautiful gift to receive for yourself to remain slow. And doing a slow push-up brings that out. It's like making love very slowly. If you'd like to join, you could go to Gasm TV and click on the link in the upper right for going to Chatterbait. After this video, we go over to Chatterbait, Cinnamon and I, and share our lovemaking with you. And you can see a different kind of lovemaking that is slow and beautiful and tender and sweet. And just, such a beautiful morning, yeah? So, last cycle of 40 breaths, and let's begin. We start with a full inhale and full exhale. Full inhale. Let's do that with vigor again. Make it a fiery breath. Feel the power and vitality in your body. Give a good groan if you like. Let that beast come out. We are the beauty and the beast. The beautiful beast. The beautiful beast. Groan a little. Get into position for your push-ups. Get ready to go very slow, very slow. Feel the discomfort, even though it's uncomfortable. It is so beautiful to be slow, in the present. This is what it feels like to be alive. Such a gift. 5, 4, 3, 2, Deep inhale. Hold for 15. I am so jazzed to be with you. Oh my God, this is so good. Doesn't that feel so good? So beautiful. Oh, thank you, Wim Hof. Thank you for bringing this to us. So we can go in the app and keep track of our progress and celebrate that we're doing this every morning. We're doing it for ourselves. We're doing it for our families. We're doing it for our friends. Like, we're better people as a result of doing this. And why is that? Because we're not agitated, right? We're able to remain calm. We're able to be present in each moment, appreciate the gifts that are happening all the time. We live in a world of abundance. We are just super agitated. We're super inundated by society's agitations. And so it's time to shift the game. And shifting the game starts with our daily morning ritual. Thank you so much for joining us. Cinnamon and me, we're hanging here, celebrating with you. And I love and appreciate you and all that you do for yourself and for others. Thank you so much for taking care of yourself. I'll see you tomorrow morning, same time. If you want to join me, now we can do a little headstand as we wrap.